Good morning, this is Don the Short Sale Guy with my next podcast, and I'm talking today about the tyranny of time. And all my regrets in my life have to do with the time I wasted on stuff that just wasn't important. As you can see by my gray hair and on my beard and my mustache and my hair, and not too much hair anymore, but I'm still putting up the good fight. What I regret the most is the time that I wasted on stupid stuff. And I'm going to put this in a real estate investing context because that's who I am. I'm Don the Short Sale Guy. I'm also an online marketer. The same thing I'm going to talk about now applies to online marketing. Whatever business you're promoting, again, it's the tyranny of time. And let me go into it. I have two specific examples that I want to highlight that will hopefully illustrate this point better. So I have always been an entrepreneur at heart. When I was 18, I turned down a full ride baseball scholarship, which is, stupid on my part, I suppose, but I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I had this idea that I could start a cleaning business. So I called it Daisy Cleaning Service, and I did that for about 7 months after I graduated, and actually did pretty well until I woke up to the fact that I didn't like to clean houses. Now, I was stupid. I didn't understand that I could have hired people to do it, but I was just 18. I didn't have any business experience whatsoever. But that I kind of caught the entrepreneurial bug then. And around the same time, I heard about this guru going around. His name was Robert Allen, and his shtick was nothing down. And what he would do is he would talk to different news media outlets and local TV stations, and he would announce that he was coming into their town, and he wanted them to follow him along. And he, in 3 days, in a weekend, he would get a house for no money down. And he was all over the airways. He was all over infomercials and so forth. And he came to my town and got a lot of publicity about that. And I was fascinated by the fact that, yes, he came in and they showed him getting houses. And I thought to myself, wow, that's crazy. And so I wanted to learn so bad how to do that. But of course, he was money, and I didn't have any money at the time. So what I ended up doing was I got a job as an inbound telemarketer during the Christmas rush, like from Thanksgiving until New Year's. And I worked and get as much overtime as I could. And there was a seminar that happened in Cincinnati. St. Louis is about maybe 12 hours drive from maybe, 10 or 12 hours. And so I bought it, and I packed up my car, and my mom, who was into real estate as well. We drove all night to get there. And it's just so funny because I ended up sleeping through most of the seminar because I was so tired. But I learned some stuff. I did learn some stuff. And it was enough to make me dangerous, I suppose. But I got home, and there was no support. Now, I still haven't reached any regrets here, okay? So, but I'm just laying the groundwork. So, fast forward another, maybe 10 years or so. And I had just got back from Russia, and I was able to work out a deal with a friend of mine that he didn't want his house anymore. He was moving, and so I said, well, why don't you let me assume I knew enough from the course. I said, well, why don't you let me assume your FHA mortgage? I'll pay you $5,000, and then, because the house needed a lot of work. And so he said, okay. So, I basically just assumed the mortgage, and I paid him his money because I had earned some, about $20,000 after 20 years of saving, or from my savings of 2 years at the Moscow embassy. And my new wife and I rehabbed it, and it looked pretty nice. I mean, it was basically carpet and paint, but we did more than that. And it was wonderful. And then obviously later I sold it at a nice high price, and I basically made about $60,000, $70,000 in that flip. Plus I lived there for 5 years. So, but again, that's not the time tyranny I'm talking about here. What my regret is, be patient. I'm getting there. The first time that really hit me was I was dabbling in real estate again while I was going to college, and I made a connection with a doctor. He had a fourplex that he wanted to just get rid of because he got all his tax advantages from it, and it would have caused him more tax liability to sell it than it was just to give it away. So he basically told me he was going to give me his fourplex, And I was like initially so excited. I was like, cool, man, I'm into real estate now. This is just the start. But I had no mentors. I had no one by me to tell me that, I'm okay, that I had resources to bounce things off of if somebody, if something happened as far as the property. My biggest fear was, what happens if something breaks? I don't have any money. And of course now I'm so stupid. I should have realized that it was free and clear, and I was getting rent from 4 places, plus I had their deposits, so there would have been some money there. But whatever. But I got to the closing table and I walked away because I got terrified and scared. Now this was in 1991. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This was 1987, 88. Before I went to Russia, excuse me. So think about how much time I missed because I let fear drive me. I could have got my real estate start then, and I didn't, because I got afraid. I didn't have a support system, and so I walked away from what could have already been my grand entrance into real estate. And look how I've done as Don the short sale guy. I could have had a 20-year head start on that, but I didn't do it. All right, so that's the first time tyranny, right? That's my biggest regret. I didn't start then. And then I went back to Russia and I tried to do a business there, and I got married to another Russian woman, my wife Lena. Right now we've been married for 21 years. And I just think about these moments in time that life gives you, the universe gives you opportunities, and you have to jump on them and fight through the fear, because the fear is what kills you. And I mean, look, I'm 57 years old now. I've done really well, but I wonder, geez, if I just started then. And I kick myself sometimes because it's like, that was so dumb. And I think about the times when I probably could have taken my short sale business nationally. I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't know anybody else that does this better than I do. And yet, for most of the country, for most of Florida, people still don't know about Don the short sale guy. And people were started doing internet marketing in the early 2000s. I thought about that, but I thought, no. When I started my business in 2004, I had people tell me, you should have a website, you should be promoting this. And I was making so much money, I said, why do I need to bother? I mean, I'll just do what I do here and not worry about it. And I had this idea that I wanted to be anonymous. I didn't want to have my name out there in some mistaken belief that somehow the banks would know that I was out there doing all this stuff, and then they would see my name on a contract. They would think I'm a shark and that they would not give me discounts on my short sales. So it was important for me to stay incognito as I was doing my business. And now I think to myself, I've been doing Don the short sale guy and getting my brand out there and developing my brand for a couple of years now. It's been imperfect until recently, but I've been doing it. You can certainly find me on the internet, and it hasn't affected me one bit. So I lost time again. You see how I'm losing time because of stupid, idiotic, false beliefs. And so what I'm trying to explain in this podcast today is just to try to help you stop those self-beliefs that are not accurate. And because you lose a chunk of time. And you only can start with where you are today. And it takes a while to ramp any kind of business up, any kind of branding exercise up. So the sooner you start, the better. And if you don't start now, how much time are you going to lose if you don't get started today? So my plea to you as real estate investors, as online marketers, whatever you're trying to promote, start today. And then get up the next morning and take one more step and take one more step and do this every single day. Because I'm telling you, you will regret. That's what you regret the most in life, is those stops and starts, and not committing to something fully and working through it and not quitting. So I would say those are words of wisdom from someone who's got a lot of gray in his beard. Okay, so I will see you at the next podcast. Thanks.